Okay, before we start this video, and yeah, I know, boo, you're promoting your channel, get on with the video already. We're just under 300 subs away from 1,000 subscribers. So please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It literally just takes one click from your mouse and one tap if you're on mobile. I've always dreamed about getting there since I was a kid, and I really want to reach that milestone before the end of the year. So I beg of you, help a brother out. Ever since picking up Classroom of the Elite, I had been very interested in other light novels as I found myself entranced by the experience the former series gave me, and just how much I enjoyed the entire journey of the regular high school student named Ayanokoji Kiyotaka who just wanted to live a peaceful life. That, and was able to read it during my online classes without getting caught. To my English teacher, if you ever do see this video, I'm sorry. Naturally, I began to search for other light novels which are held in especially high regard, and I happened to come across the likes of Zaregoto, The Empty Box in Maria, Oregairu, 3 Days of Happiness, Monogatari, Spice and Wolf, and even the ReZero web novel which I had been fairly familiar with in the past. I tried to get into 3 of these series, and my attempts were in hindsight an absolute failure.
Bruh.
I was reading about 4 other manga at the moment, and I just couldn't manage 7 different series at the same time, all while maintaining and going through my normal everyday life. I was just able to finish The Empty Box in Maria Volume 1, which I believe to be of the highest quality of series I had experienced, and I will continue it in the next coming months. I only read 1 chapter of Oregairu Volume 1 and never bothered to continue the rest of the series as I had seen the anime beforehand. And well, with ReZero, I'm currently reading it at the moment after an unreasonably long break from it. I just couldn't seem to get into more light novels wholeheartedly because of my busy schedule and how long it took for me to consume them. So I put all of those series on pause and waited for a more relaxing period of time to get back into them, like my winter break, which I actually just got back from, and I know school is definitely going to be a pain this last term. In my winter break, I saw and read many new things like Samurai Champloo, Psychopaths, Hajime no Ippo, Pluto, I Had That Same Dream Again, a Girl on the Shore, and well, the list goes on. It was an exciting school holiday where I experienced and did many great memorable things from and aside anime and or manga, such as learning to ride a motorbike, which was fun. Really fun.
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
But there was one series which really gave me a great experience and was worth all the time I put into it. This series was the only light novel I had read as well as finished that winter break, and without a doubt, I can firmly say that this is the light novel that you have to read. This is the light novel called Gekkou, about a cynical boy and a perfect girl. Like most of its other light novel counterparts, Gekkou opens with obviously the volume cover, contents page, character profiles of the main cast, and a few other images here and there. But what really got me into the book was its very first chapter, which served as an excellent introduction to the brilliantly well done short but sweet narrative. Wait, did I forget that it's only 1 volume? That's right. It's only 200 pages worth of amazing content. Gekkou is about a cynical 17-year-old boy, Nonomiya, who is bored of his everyday, fairly peaceful life and the relationship he has with another person, but we'll get to that later. The first chapter opens with Nonomiya having a conversation with a bunch of boys in his class after he heard them speaking about the perfect girl whose presence everyone in the entire school had known of, Yoko Tsukimori. This dialogue continues with nothing too interesting or exciting of the sort happening, and the impression I got from Nonomiya is one of a typical slice-of-life psychological anime main character. The main character is very stoic, very isolated, and has a sense of distaste for life, or moreover the world, whether it be because of a lack of excitement or being hurt in the past. And then I realized it. I was going to love Nonomiya as a character. Hachiman Hikigaya, Ayanokoji Kiyotaka, Oreki Hotaro, and Sakuta Azuzagawa. What do all of these slice-of-life anime manga main characters have in common? The fact that they get bitches, the fact that they remain very distant from others, or the fact that they all have a twisted outlook on the world? You could make your case with all of those claims for these 4 characters, but I believe the most interesting thing they have in common is the fact that they have a cult of followers who want to be just like them as a sad attempt to get bitches. I would know very well. A bit too well, in fact. But on the more serious side of things, I genuinely enjoy this character trope when used in the mediums of anime, manga, and whatnot. Why, you ask? There is a significantly huge chance for growth, and their journeys are only something I can learn something from, empathize with, and use it as a chance to better myself as a person. No, really, Hachiman taught me the value of true relationships, and it's never wrong to seek something genuine. Ayanokoji taught me that violence and lies could control anything if applied in the correct manner, and that there is always more to people than meets the eye. Oreki taught me the value of energy and how the amount of effort you choose to put into something will bear fruits. And Sakuta taught me to be a horny motherfucker. I mean, he taught me not to go with the flow and always fight for what I believe in. So seeing this character trope used with Nonomiya, I was excited and believed that I could take away something great from this story and learn something new. As the chapter continues, the conversations come to an end, and after attending his class president meeting, Nonomiya prepares to leave for home, but he finds a notepad on the floor belonging to the perfect girl. He disregards it, fighting off his curiosity, and as he puts it down in an effort to leave it behind, he grabs a folded piece of paper and catches a glimpse of its contents. He sees something that deeply interests him. He immediately puts down the notepad, but keeps the folded piece of paper in his left breast pocket. As he arrives at home, he reads its contents and is left astonished. The piece of paper is titled The Murder Recipe and is filled with very ambitious plans and scenarios for the quote-unquote perfect murder. Nonomiya disregards it as utter nonsense, saying it's something a child would write. The next day, when he goes to school, he speaks to Tsukimori and asks her if she's missing anything or is in search of something, to which she replies that she is not. The next day, Tsukimori does not come to school, and it is revealed to Nonomiya that her father had passed away. But he didn't pass away of any regular cause. His cause of death was exactly the same as one of the plans in the murder recipe that Nonomiya had just read 2 days prior to this. One thing is clear. This is no accident. This is a murder. I think it's really this first chapter that got me hooked to the series. It introduces a very interesting mystery that proposes a great amount of questions in the reader's minds. Did Tsukimori kill her father? Why did Tsukimori say she hadn't lost anything? What will Nonomiya do now? And finally, what is the true face of Yoko Tsukimori? It's then after this that the novel keeps on building upon more exciting developments, keeping the reader interested as we seem to be getting further and further away from the true answer to everything. And then, in the final 2 chapters, all our questions are somewhat answered, with some still having a little bit of ambiguity to them. And that's what I really love about Gekkou, the amazing mystery that keeps you interested throughout the entirety of the novel, and when you're finally giving some form of an answer, it still has that enigmatic touch to it that allows you to interpret a lot of events as you see fit. But let me also not give you unrealistic expectations, because being honest, Gekkou is more of a romance slice of life than it is a mystery thriller. I know, boo, 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 romance, boobies. Wait, just hear me out, okay? The great twists and developments are still there, it's not the main focus of the story. The main focus is the relationship between Nonomiya and Tsukimori and their interactions, which obviously most of the time aren't mind-blowing plot developments. They're just wholesome, heartwarming moments. Gekkou doesn't have one huge 20th Century Boys type mystery, but it is still great in its own right, and I truly believe it captures the essence of the light novel experience. That's why it's the light novel perfect for beginners, the light novel you have to read. There are obviously very few pictures in light novels, which are far and few between each other. So most of the events are left to our imaginations, our visions, and what we can think of. And that's the fun part. Sitting down with the book, reading it, and piecing all the events together in your mind is one hell of an experience. And in Gekkou, it's really easy to do this. The world isn't some fantasy isekai RPG, but just a normal town with a high school, a library, a cafe, a train station, and other normal places. The dialogue isn't as worthy and elegant as something like Monogatari would be, but it is still darn great and easy to digest, and the events aren't as complicated and sophisticated as something would be in Hakomari, but it is still very exciting. So please, if you haven't read any light novels or looking into getting into the medium, I highly recommend Gekkou as your first experience. It's short and sweet with a great ending that will leave you with a good impression and make you want to seek out more novels. I can assure you that. The main character of Gekkou was okay for the most parts, with him having no peculiar or special traits as a character. But I think he's meant to be written like that, so that you, the reader, can put yourself in his shoes. What would you do in his situation? How would you cope with this? And how would you solve the mystery of the girl known as Yoko Tsukimori? I think if you look at things that way, Gekkou would be a tad bit more exciting, although there is a chance of you having a slight distaste for Nonomiya and some choices he makes. The main heroine of Gekkou, Yoko Tsukimori, is absolutely stunning, and I can't comprehend how anyone wouldn't end up loving her as a character. She became one of my favorite female characters of all time throughout such a short story. She's a perfect girl who has the flaws, but those flaws make her perfect. All of her interactions with Nonomiya are excellent and just so fun to read, and her character conclusion was one of the best things about this novel. Yoko has a very pleasing personality, outstanding grades and good looks. She's very mature, and to everyone around her she seems to be the very living entity of perfection. So, how does the embodiment of perfection deal with the loss of her father at the young age of 17, and how does she cope? Her character is really interesting, and her dialogue in the final chapter was really something special, and I enjoyed every single second of it, as I had butterflies in my stomach as well as goosebumps reading every word she spoke. Yoko Tsukimori is truly perfect. I think that's a good part to end this video off on. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video inspired you guys to try out Gekkou and more so get into light novels. Please do subscribe, as we are just under 300 subs away from reaching 1,000 subscribers. I've dreamed about this ever since I was a kid, and I really want to reach that milestone before the end of the year. So please, help me do that. Stay safe, remember to leap into space, and I'm out. Peace!